All right, we want to welcome you all to our very first episode of Ashes and Ambition podcast. I'm Khary Ratliff,
I'm Garry Lewis.
and this is, like I said, this is our first episode. Coach, how you feeling? You excited?
Very excited. We've been talking about it now for about 2 months, and I'm glad we got it going. So first day, first episode.
Yeah.
So man, let's rock it.
Look, we've been been here trying to set up for it for at least 3-4 hours. We're gonna get it going, and just like I said, it's very first episode, so we got a lot of things in place and got a lot of stuff figured out. So
Yeah.
we can start talking. But what I want to talk about first, Coach, is our cigar of the week. For me, I picked the Tatawahe, the 2003. This is one of my favorite smokes. I started smoking this cigar basically just because it had 2003 on it.
Wow.
It's the year I graduated high school.
Wow.
So
You young, man. You young.
Well,
I got 19 in my number when I graduated, so I'm old.
Well, at least when I was born, I had 19 in my number. So I guess that counts for something. But yeah, I picked this first of all because it had 2003 in it, and I actually started liking this cigar. And yeah, it was just one of those smokes when I first tried it. It was pretty good.
Yeah,
Pretty good smoke.
and shout out to the owner, Mark Smith. He passed about maybe 3 months ago, and that was his favorite brand. And we miss Mark, so shout out to Mark Smith, man, at River City Cigars here. So yeah, that's my backup.
Yeah.
Mine is the Grand Cogino Tatawahe, and it's a full body 6.5 by 60 gauge cigar. So if you planning on going on the golf course, this will last you about 9 holes. So that's what I like about this cigar, about an hour and a half.
So one of the things we want to talk about, Coach, I want to talk about what made you. We're Ashes and Ambition, but what we're doing is we're doing it in a cigar shop, and of course we talk about cigars, we talk about ashes and different things like that on a cigar. But what first brought you out to actually come into a cigar shop? Like what made you decide I want to try a cigar first time? Or
I think it was the grind. I working in higher ed, and I think I started my doctoral degree. So I had this thing where if I got an A or B on my paper,
yeah,
I would celebrate with a cigar. And they knew anything about cigars, and they didn't want to smoke cigarettes. So I figured, hey, let me do a type of celebration, lighting up a cigar. So I started out with the cheap brands, didn't know any better, and then eventually graduated to smoking a Grand Cogino. So that was a while ago, probably about 2008 when I started smoking.
Okay. Yeah. And so similar to that time frame, I started smoking around 2008, 2009-ish, something like that.
Okay.
I was just with a friend.
Yeah.
And we were in Memphis, I think, at a cigar shop, and just decided that we were going to get some cigars. And my first cigar was the Cuba. I think it's the Acid.
Okay.
I think it's Georgia State, I think, for sure. But yeah, it was a Cuba Acid cigar, and there are actually some right over here. But yeah, that was my first stick, and I mean, I started smoking, inhaling. It
Choked
about killed me just smoking a cigar for the first time. But yeah, so it's been about the same time frame, maybe 2009, something like that.
Yeah, and I think it was the Maduro for me, which was a darker leaf, smaller gauge range, and over time I just graduated to the bigger body, full body, strong cigar. Yeah. So I can get up in the morning now, drink coffee, smoke a cigar.
Smoke cigar.
Yeah. Most people can't do that. You got to eat before you smoke one, a strong one at least.
Yeah.
So this is my number one brand, and probably about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours if you smoke it slow. It's pretty good.
Yeah, usually about an hour and a half on this 2003 good black pepper taste, cedar, medium to full body smoke.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah, so I enjoy this smoke pretty often. It's my favorite, and Mark would always tell me, he always called me Kamari instead of Khary.
Right.
Hey, Kamari, we got the 2003s back. And like, okay, Mark, and then he'll hide them and smoke them himself. So
Yeah, we got to tell you stories about Mark, the ones that we can, put on tape.
yeah, the ones that we can tell. Yeah, but we miss Mark definitely, and his presence is missed. But we're keeping his memory alive in his shop right now, River City Cigars and Brews here in Vicksburg. So we're ecstatic to be able to do this episode here, and for this to be what we think will be our home base, pretty much.
Yeah.
For the podcast. So
Yeah. And I think we're going to go around. We have probably about 3 cigar shops here.
Yeah.
So we're going to go around and show love to every one of them and do a podcast and make it fun for our viewers and invite different people to come on and share stories and do our best to enlighten you all for tuning in as well.
Yeah, because, we though we're smoking cigars and we're in a cigar shop, it's not just a cigar podcast. We got a lot of life experience. For me, I'm a couple years younger than Coach, but we're from 2 different, I won't say time frame, but we crossed paths quite a bit.
Yeah.
And we ended up meeting again at the cigar shop.
Yeah.
So I was actually, funny story, I was in a class of coaches at Alcorn.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, like 2003, 2004. And I mean, Coach, the guy he is, he's a cool guy. You'll never know, like, his next move. You never know what, you just don't know. He's a mysterious guy. So, like I said, until I got in the cigar shop, I started coming. Mark, they opened up this cigar shop in 2014. They just recently celebrated 12 years here.
Yeah.
And I started coming here maybe 15, close to the end of 14, something like that. But ended up coming across Coach again a couple years later and had no knowledge that Coach had played pro football and different things. Played football. I knew he played football at Alcorn, but I had no clue. Like, we call him Coach because he was a coach. When I was there, he was a coach. So
right.
I had no clue about the NFL career. He was just a guy comes in with his laptop and he's smoking his cigar and just chilling and fist bumps and what's going on, Coach? And what's up?
Right.
So, Coach, if you don't mind talking about that experience, talk about your time at Alcorn and maybe about your time in the NFL. How was that for you?
Yeah, a lot of history at Alcorn. First coming from New Orleans, going to Alcorn. Actually, it was a dream to play. I guess you could say student athlete, going to Alcorn, playing football and majoring in education. And my goal was to actually play in the NFL. And I knew, I had a feeling that the direct line was going to the NFL. My best shot was to go to Alcorn State, because Alcorn was known as DBU at the time.
Yeah.
So many defensive backs drafted. And if you can check the history of Alcorn DBs, man, from the 60s up until the early 90s, a lot of guys got drafted and played. And then even during that era of 70s, 80s, 90s, a lot of the HBCU alum football players, man, were damn near on every roster in the NFL. So attended Alcorn and majored in education. And actually, I wanted to be a lawyer.
Okay.
Yeah. But I was told, because I was on full scholarship, the coaches told me, hey, you can't major in law because you have to do an internship and you're on a full ride unless you want to pay for school.
Right.
So, I'm poor, man. I can't pay for school. My mom don't have any money. I didn't have any money. So switched to education, and it just worked out, man. Went in the NFL and had a career for about maybe 4 years, and then went on to Canada and played and retired, and then got into coaching for a little bit.
And what years were you at Alcorn, Coach?
Oh, man. Now, see, I'm telling my age, not Khary. 85 to 90 when I was at Alcorn.
Okay.
Yeah, 85 to 90.
85 to
and
90.
I think I went back in 01. So I coached football from 01 to 07.
Okay.
Yeah, and then worked on my doctorate degree. Yeah.
All right. So I call him coach respectively, but he's got many titles.
A lot of
Yeah. He doctor.
But don't call me doc.
Yeah. We not call you doc. We call you coach. That's the type of guy Coach is. He's like I said, humble, very humble guy. And I'm even when we had discussion about potentially doing a podcast. I talked to Coach, mentioned to him. He was like, "Yeah, I want to do it with you." I'm like, "Really, Coach?" Like, so I mean, I'm excited, like I said, to have Coach here. We're embarking on this journey together, talking about some elements in business, family, just life, and different things like that. Things that men go through, things that we've talked about in the shop many years about potentially doing a podcast.
Yeah.
And like I said, shout out to the guys, come in all the time. We've had many discussions for years about doing a podcast, and it's been talked, and so we decided, let's go ahead and get that going so we can have some discussions. And we intend to have some of those guys on for episodes. Like I said, we got a lot of stories, a lot of life experience. I intend to learn from Coach, some things, while we sit, while we talk and get to know each other, better. Like I said, we know a lot of surface level things about each other, but in my life, I'm from Port Gibson, Mississippi. Shout out PG, born and raised, and that's where I came from. Vicksburg. We came here to do our shopping and everything like that. We didn't have a lot down there to do, so we came to Vicksburg, and so I ended up moving to Vicksburg eventually. Got the family, here, wife, and 2 kids, Jordan, Marion, a little baby, Khary on the way.
Yeah, man, you still working, man.
Yeah, still working, still working. Still working. So yeah, that's exciting. Trying to get those things in life going, but I I'm a photographer. I do video photography. That's my business. That's my feel like my calling, my chosen way of life, if you will. Being a photographer, I capture moments for a living. So I'm grateful to be able to do that. And I mean, it's never a job for me. I enjoy doing that.
And he's being modest, man. It's just to work in technology. He's doing different things, and then one time worked at Alcorn. So
yeah.
And then on the side, he's taking pictures and doing things, showing up at events, well known in Vicksburg. And when you mentioned Port Gibson, I forgot you were from PG, man. Population 20 people, man. That's just come on, man.
Come on.
But shout out to PG.
Don't do it like that.
Shout out to PG, man. Yeah. Don't get mad at me, PG.
Oh yeah. Hey, look. I went to Alcorn, being raised in Port Gibson. My grandma worked at Alcorn. My granddad worked at Alcorn. My grandma worked cleaning Burrs Hall from '84 to '96.
Yes.
So she was there. Yeah. You might have crossed paths with her. So
a lot of history down there in Port Gibson.
Yeah. So yeah, it was natural for me to go to Alcorn. I wanted to resist just because it was close. It was my backyard. But I graduated from Port Gibson in 2003, which is, like I said, with the cigar. But so I was at Alcorn from 2003 to 2007.
Okay.
Yeah. So that so that's the time frame when I crossed paths with Coach. So
okay.
Yeah,
that's right. And then we got a lot of good guys here too. So the audience of viewers, you have an opportunity to meet a lot of people. And actually, man, this spot, River City Cigars in Vicksburg, Mississippi, it's a cool spot. A lot of great people here. I think I moved in Vicksburg in '07. And I think you said 2014, but it could be 2011 when Mark started this spot, 2012. And when I say I met a lot of good people here and how we fellowship and get together, and actually, man, just to have that fellowship with everybody, throughout the week, it helps you to unwind from work, come here, smoke a cigar, and just talk. I met a lot of wonderful people in this spot, so we look forward to bringing people on, and you get opportunity to meet them. On the business end of it, they can share some things about on the business side to help you out. So we have plenty episodes, hopefully, to bring on good people and entertain you guys and have a learning moment about it as well.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for me, like I said, this cigar shop, it means a lot being here. Like I said, it's easy just to come from work and just, come sit here. And I mean, you can see outside, but you can see the sun go down sitting here, enjoying yourself, conversations we have, some of the things that we discuss, we joke, we laugh, we talk so much noise, especially during football season.
Right.
Different things like that. But the camaraderies we made, the fellowship, the friendships, you can't beat it. Like, it's the networking opportunities. The number of people who I've done photo shoots for, their families and different things like that. We get to know each other's families, things that, all of us here, we've either, we've lost somebody or we've had, some people around us, who have been in the shop. Like I said, we talk about Mark, but, Dr. Wall, was here, and he passed last year. And, it's, we're a family here at this shop. So it's a link in our chain, being here. We lost as well. So we celebrate those guys still. We come in and we joke about, things that they have said or things that they did, and there's special spots here in the shop that we don't sit in. Most of us don't sit there because, we can't fill their spots. That's just one of those things. So we're a family here, in the cigar world, pretty much. You can walk into a cigar shop and feel like, hey, it's like Cheers. Like, everybody knows your name, that just the whole thing. So,
and that's one thing I love about cigar lounges all over it, wherever you go. And a lot of people don't understand why men and women actually gravitate towards a cigar lounge. But let me tell you something, man. Just the camaraderie of people getting together. You just don't know that person may have a bad day, but being around someone, talking to them, or just sitting there, being around people, it helps. You mentioned we lost some people, man. I thought about this the other day. We probably lost about 10 people within the last 2.5 years.
Yep.
Either directly or indirectly.
Yep.
And even an owner of this shop who started this. So first black owner in Vicksburg.
Yep.
I've been at different spots in Little Rock, West End Cigars. Shout out to West End. I still have a great relationship with those guys there at West End. And at that time, I was working in UAPB, University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. Now, I would drive to Little Rock just to hang out with those guys, smoke a cigar. And that was a drive maybe about an hour, 45 minutes to an hour. But every day I look forward to it. And it saved me, man, just the things I was going through at work. So if you don't understand cigars and why people do it, it's that relaxation. It's that get away from home. Men work hard. They need a spot to go to if they don't have a man cave. This is why we do what we do.
This shit. Waste this shit all on my shit. God damn it. But yeah, so yeah, it's like I said, there's no place like this where you can go to. People may not understand, they may think it's, more to it than what it is. We come in, people get along. There's no mess here. We come, we vibe, we chill, we listen to music, we get to know each other. And like I said, we build great relationships like that. Just, friendships that, hey, they surpass, sometimes, like I said, we're family. We are a family here.
And I got to say, hey, there are times when you have someone a nuisance. So let me explain the cigar etiquette real quick. When you go into a cigar lounge, first of all, know the rules. And second, speak when you go in.
Right.
Okay.
Definitely.
Be polite, speak, but know the rules. So if it's a cutting fee, that means if you bringing a cigar in, it's a fee. If they serve liquor, allow you to bring your liquor in, your cup in, it's a cutting fee for that, and expect that. I can't go in a restaurant and bring my own food and sit down. So understand the how cigar lounges and how they operate. And another thing, don't over talk and that's another problem I have with when you have the conversation piece in a cigar lounge where someone has to over talk.
Yeah.
I like cigar lounges, man, where you don't really hear the conversation. So it's a gentleman's club.
Uh-huh.
It's not a club. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a problem with music and all of that, but that's not the idea of a cigar lounge.
Yeah.
So you have to balance it out where you have to understand that, part of it. So I had to say that.
Hey, it's all good though. You're exactly right, because I mean they're different. They're different than shops, lounges, bar lounges,
Yeah.
different things like that. So, yeah, I mean, there's definitely a certain etiquette when you go to those different places.
Yeah,
So that's,
yeah. And bring your lighter, man. if you go into a cigar lounge, you've been a member, or you've been at that cigar lounge for a year or more, buy a lighter. Buy a lighter.
Coach, that's been one of my biggest things, one of my gripes. Sometimes, we, like I said, we consider ourselves a family here.
Right.
But, bro, every time you come to the shop, you don't ever have a lighter.
Yeah.
You ain't never got a torch. I mean, you got to use my torch. You got to,
you know how much a can of fluid costs now? The economy is bad, man. I'm buying cans and I'm filling my lighter because you use my lighter all the time. I just had to say that, man.
Hey, it's all good. Like I said, for us here, like we're talking cordial for the camera,
right,
to some degree. But we talk, we trip, we say all kind of stuff, and we, like I said, like brothers do, we talk shit. So
yeah,
that's something that happens,
yeah,
here at the cigar shop. We have a good time, and we have good fun, playful, ongoing jokes, jokes
right,
that live,
right,
beyond, beyond the walls of here. And I mean, to me, it's been a difference maker in my life to be able to be at the cigar shop, come in and, like I said, gain wisdom. Like I said, like a coach, having a coach here, come in and get some wisdom. If he decides to talk, because sometimes, like I said, he chills. He's a humble guy, and that's just his mannerism, and that's all good. But we share our thoughts with each other. We share, we share a lot, with each other being here in this setting. So these places are very important, to us as men. We have women that come in as well. But, for us, definitely, this is our escape sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
and I've learned a lot hanging out in the cigar lounge too. So many people I've met, lawyers, doctors, people in law enforcement, just talking to everyone from different aspects of their careers, plumbers and things like that. So much, man, and connecting and networking with people, realtors. So it's a good spot to hang out and meet people and learn and you never know, man. It's gonna be somebody that can help you and vice versa. You can help them as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, like I said, this is our initial episode. We just wanted to get this going. We have a lot of more topics, a lot of things to talk about and discuss. And one of the things I wanted to do with Coach, just see if you have a thought. Do you have a final thought on this initial episode of Ashes and Ambition?
Well, in the concept of our podcast, and I want to give a shout out to Khary too for putting this putting this together. Because you're talking about topics on life, family, business, ambition. So, and I start off with life comments. The last 2 years, using me as an example, been tough, and just trying to gravitate around that and figure out how to reinvent myself.
Yeah.
And what's funny, that's what I've been doing since I retired from football. It's like every 5 years I had to figure things out or how to reinvent myself. I can go back to when I was coaching, or even when I was done playing. I didn't have a clue what I was going to do.
All right.
I left school early because I knew I was going to get drafted. I had like a semester left in school. And so when I retired in 96, I believe, I moved to California and tried to help raise my son at the time, who was 4. And no family out there, just trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah.
And I think I worked at a group home in Anaheim and then another group home in Fullerton, California, while I was trying to enroll in school. And then I got into coaching and did that for a bit. And then we got fired in 2007, my last year of coaching. And then that's another wall I hit. Okay, what are you going to do next?
Yeah.
And at that time, I just started a doctorate program. And so, you know what, let me go do high school. And I did that. And that was great because I had the opportunity to coach Malcolm Butler.
Okay.
And
shout out Vicksburg High.
yeah, man.
Malcolm Butler. Yeah. Patriot. Yeah.
And went back to Alcorn and tried to figure it out, move my way up. And then when I'm leaving. And so it's that's what I want to, we're going to talk about things like that, life lessons and if we can do anything to share with our listeners, our viewers, on things and, and mental health too.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Had issues with that. And I think at one time in the Black community, we didn't really, seek any help.
No, it was taboo to
it
talk
was.
about that. You just kind of put uncle in the back.
Yeah.
And
That's correct.
yeah, so that's we didn't talk about it, and you don't talk about what's going on at home. So that's so we
and I encourage that, and so a lot of men out here, man. A lot of men out here working hard, going through things. And I don't know what the study is now, but I know the suicide rate was high among men at one time. I don't know what it is now, but it's important to do that as well. So we're going to talk about issues and topics, bring people on who are experts to talk about these things. So it won't be us. That's not my field. I'm not an expert in that, but anything that we can share and help our viewers, our audience on that. And also our female viewers too, and people who are listening to us from a female perspective, what we can do to share and help them out as well. So this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And try to bring to you guys.
Yeah, because we have, like I said, we have a lot of women that come in who smoke cigars, who are successful business owners, have major roles and positions in industries around here and different things like that. And I think that it's important for, we do think sometimes of a cigar shop as a boys club or a gentleman's club to some degree. Maybe gentleman's club, not the right thing to think about it for the cigar shop, but we think of it as a boys club.
Yeah.
So, but there are women who come in and they smoke cigars just like the guys do.
Right.
Some of them stronger, some of them, and have a great knowledge of those things. And so, those are definitely some planned topics going down the road. Yeah. So I'm grateful for the opportunity because I'm a behind the camera person. I'm not a person who has to be out front. I enjoy being behind the camera. So this is actually a step out, for me to be in front of the camera. So that's, definitely nervous in doing that, but it's been I hadn't, coaches had the opportunity to be in front of lights, big lights and cameras and different things like that. And I didn't get past high school playing football, so yeah, but it's I'm grateful for this opportunity to be able to share our thoughts. It does take a bit of it takes a lot of courage to come out and say, hey, I'm gonna do a show, because you allow yourself to be vulnerable. You allow people to kind of see parts of you that you may not share.
Right.
And
right.
So. Yes. But that's, like I said, that's what we do here at the shop. We talk to each other. We share things that, like, okay, I didn't know, you had that going on or anything like that. So it's
and this is new for me, because I'm humble and laid back, and for me to do this and share and open up, this is really not me. But if I can do anything, to share and talk about and be funny at the same time, we're gonna do it. Share some football stories, man, as well. That won't be the main topic, but I'm quite sure they want to hear some funny stories that I can talk about without naming names. So I'd be glad to do that, man. It's for sure.
And Coach, share the teams that you played for. I mean, when you played in the NFL, what teams did you play for?
So the first team, the Raiders, drafted me.
Okay.
So I was drafted in '90 with the LA Raiders. At that time, they was based in LA, and then went on to Dallas. Traded to Dallas, but actually was traded again the first week of the season when it started. So from Dallas to Tampa, and then to Kansas City. And when I was at Kansas City, I got hurt, and I think I missed that whole year rehabbing.
Okay.
And then I went up to Canada for about 3 years. So that was from 1996 in the league.
Okay.
When I played.
Yeah, that's hell of an experience. I mean, I can only imagine. Most boys, we grew up, we played football in the yard and different things like that. Our ultimate goal is, hey, we all want to play in the NFL. I'm a Cowboy fan myself. But I think we all had, growing up, I think I had like a Dolphins T-shirt. I had a Raiders T-shirt. We had certain teams, that, growing up, my mom might have went somewhere and picked up a Miami Dolphins shirt or, like I said, definitely a Raiders shirt. Those are dreams of boys playing pick up, mess up, and playing football. And so you actually had the opportunity to make those dreams come true. So that's excellent. And then coming from Alcorn, because like I said, shout out to Alcorn. That's both our HBCU,
Man, Alcorn made us, man. I actually, there were guys better than I was. Either in my the same class cohort, that were way better than I was, man. That had opportunity. I was just lucky to, I work hard and just was committed to try to get in the league. That was my goal. And so I didn't do anything else, man. I didn't party like most of the guys did, because I was very focused on what I wanted to do, and coming out of New Orleans, one, I didn't want to go back, and we probably talk about that in the future. But coming out of New Orleans, man, living in poverty and growing up in the projects, and it was tough, man. Going through all of that. So, I couldn't go back home and not succeed. So, and then Alcorn made us too, So man, I can tell you stories about Alcorn where we practiced, for training camp. We practiced 3 days, 3 times a day. So morning, that afternoon, we go back at night. So, man, I thought I was in prison. Because it was football, eat, then go back, football, and then when class started, it was twice a day. So that was like a training camp the whole season. So I wasn't used to that, man. So it took adjusting to that type of that ordeal, it was brutal going through all of that.
Yes.
But it made us men,
Yeah.
and it was a different time back then.
Yeah, definitely
You know,
different time.
Because those coaches, they actually came from a time, and if you figure when they started coaching, it had to be in the 50s, 60s, and they got into it in their 70s, and then here we come along in the 80s,
Right.
and so it was really like a military type thing, man. And
Yeah, it sounded like it required a lot of discipline.
yeah,
Different level of discipline.
yeah, and you couldn't have an ego. They didn't care about your feelings. I thought my name was MF the whole time I was there. I didn't. No one called me by my name the whole 4 years I was there. It was MF. So I can't say it because we're recorded. We're gonna keep it clean. But I'm just letting you know, man. That's how it was. It was tough, man. But it made us. So shout out to the HBCUs, man.
Yeah, definitely shout out. They always say, they had a saying when I was at Alcorn that if you can make it at Alcorn, you can make it anywhere.
That's true.
And I mean, we've seen people coming from the yard, do things, like I said, yourself, coach. We've seen people, of course we had, the Steve McNair,
Mm-hmm.
different thing like that. Different people like that who have come and, put the name of Alcorn, in places where Alcorn would have never been. So,
Right.
That's it's amazing that little university that I used to go and help my grandma clean. Used to clean Burris Hall during the summer.
Right.
So all the summer programs growing up there. It's amazing the things that university has put people out, in the world making life changing decisions, like just doing big things. So, again, shout out Alcorn.
Shout out to the HBCUs, man.
Yeah.
So many great people.
Yeah.
So many great people. So
Absolutely. So, okay. Well, we've had our first conversation, first episode. Definitely glad for this opportunity. We'll be trying to put out content every week or every other week, or when we shoot, we'll shoot and have these conversations. We, like I said, as Coach said, we intend to welcome some guests in the future. And if, like I said, if you're interested in coming by where we are, we're at, again, River City Cigars here on 1990 Frontage Road here in Vicksburg, River City Cigar and Brew. And we, like I said, this is the place we frequent. We're not just here just shooting. We're here. Like, this is what we do. Shout out to Lil Mark, who's running the shop, Erica, Lulu, everybody who's here, keeping Mark's legacy alive. So we're grateful for that, and grateful to have a place to come and talk about Ashes and Ambition. So, Coach, anything else?
yeah, man. When we do the next episode, I want to talk about football and share some funny stories about Jimmy Johnson and all those guys, man. So yeah, I got some stories to tell.
You talk to Jimmy Johnson with Cowboys?
Yeah.
Okay.
So tune in, man. Tune in.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. Well, we thank you again for watching our first inaugural episode. Not first inaugural, because that shit don't sound right, but our first episode of Ashes and Ambition podcast. Stay tuned for more coming in the future.